Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered. Showing from 7 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. A beautiful morning to you and welcome you to VOP this morning. It's a brand new week. And of course, we do believe that it's going to be a great one with events unfolding in Nigeria. This is Voice of the People Television, and this is VOP This Morning. I'm Moses Humphrey. Good morning once again.
And I'm Fina Okechukwu. A very welcome to today's show.
My name is Chukwuma Okoro. Good morning and thanks for joining us on VOP This Morning show.
All right, without wasting further time, Yoruba Union demands Tinubu's resignation, mobilizes Fearless October protest. Well, that's one of the conversations we have for this morning. We'll also be looking at another conversation. Chukuma.
Yes, for the second time in 1 month, soldiers of the Nigerian army have tendered their resignation, citing corruption and low morale as the reason. However, the army authorities have reacted. You need to stay on the show with us to find out what the army said.
Oh, yes. So just keep it locked, stay glued, and don't forget to click on the notification button on YouTube, and so you can be part of the family, be part of the conversation that we're having every day right here on this program. Fina.
All right, those are the major topic of discussion, but let me also let you know that we have other trending topics that made it to our radar this morning. Ajuri Ngelale. There are some quotes that are saying that he did not resign due to vexatious medical situation, but he was fired. Whoops. Ajuri Ngelale fired Moses. Why are you smiling?
The news came up. The news broke on Friday. On Friday, that he tendered his resignation, stepping down from the position of special advisor to the president. And then later on, there was another news from the presidency.
The news behind the news.
The news behind the news. Well, I would say it was about time. That's what I would say. It was about time, because why do we even have two positions? There's the position of special advisor, media, publicity, occupied by Ajuri Ngelale, Chief Ajuri Ngelale, and then the position of special advisor, information and strategy. Yeah. It's basically a duplication of responsibilities. And Ajuri Ngelale and Bayo Ononuga had, they always had this back and forth, even though it wasn't pronounced. But we all knew that they disagreed on a lot of things. Was that the reason for him being fired? Well, we don't know for sure.
Beyond the duplication, you also realize that Chief Ngelale was special envoy to the United Nations, or one climate
action.
Climate action, and I think yes, in the UN, and I was wondering how he would be able to combine.
And also chairman committee of
whatever. Meanwhile,
Evergreen project.
Meanwhile, you have the DG of the Climate Action Committee in Nigeria, the Nigerian committee that is in charge of climate action, and all of that. Well, to my mind, I think Ajuri Ngelale resigned. If there's anything behind it, I wouldn't know.
But do you also share this line of thought that his appointment was more like a compensation over the part he played in the president getting the seat as #1 person in Nigeria?
What part did he play?
Some people have the opinion that during the time of the election, he was not really in Nigeria, but he also played a part, having the fact that him and Mr. Tinubu and his son were kind of close friends. And he also chimed in his own opinion during that particular time.
It's not about Ajuri. 60% or more of the appointments were made on compensatory basis.
Because if you remember that Ajuri he wasn't even in Nigeria, when this whole thing happened.
That's why we have about 48
ministers. You know, so it goes beyond the
It's
Ajali
basically
and
compensation. But whatever the case may be, being fired, resigning, well, we wish him the very best.
exactly.
Wish him the very best in his future endeavors.
All right, some people are of the opinion that it is too early to start talking about the 2027 general election, but some other people are kind of disagreeing. Kwankwaso said he is confident in winning the 2027 election. The national leader of the new Nigerian People's Party has expressed his optimism regarding the party's prospect in the forthcoming 2027 presidential election. Some are calling for major. Some are saying it is too early to talk about presidential election. The way Nigeria is going, our economic hardship and all that, we should forget about that. But here, Rabbi Kwankwaso said he is very, very optimistic that the 2027 presidential race will fall to him. Chukuma, do you share that line too? The line of thought? No. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Is he too early to start talking about or campaigning for 2027 general election?
Fina,
Is it too early for him?
Campaign for 2027 started the day the current president was sworn into office.
Oh, yes.
So it's not too early. That is why we have what we have. You know, see, I always compare governance to a 100-meter race. If you make a false start in the dash, you are off it. You know, so it's not too early for Kwankwaso. He has not the ambition. But the fact that he's telling us that not him as a person will win the 2027 election, he's telling us that NNPP, his party. So I'm asking, is it for closing any kind of merger, or will PDP, Labour Party, as is being rumored, are they going to collapse their structures into NNPP? That is what I don't know.
But talking about that major now, we've seen a lot of people declare their own interest, you know, to be the president, to have the likes of Peter. Recall that the first time the little talk about major came up, we have Kwankwaso, we have Peter Obi, and Atiku Abubakar. And now, I would like to ask you more. Who do you think now will, you know, pave the way for another person?
Well, we don't even know if there will be a merger in the first place.
Let's assume there will be a merger.
I don't want to assume there will be a merger. But the bottom line is, whether there is a merger or not, he didn't make a statement. The PDP is dead. And you alluded to something, response given by the PDP to that regard. Is the PDP dead? Well, PDP has about, 13 states.
Or is it 13?
13 states,
Okay, 13.
About 13 states, yes. And NNPP has one. NNPP has Kano State. Labour Party has Abia, and Abga has Anambra. And you are saying the PDP is dead. I fail to see how dead the PDP is. But maybe in terms of
speaking to the problems within the PDP, so he doesn't see
there are problems
PDP
everywhere.
surviving.
But other political
crisis.
parties also have their own crises.
There are problems everywhere. There are problems in the
Even
LP.
in Abga, even
problems in
LP,
Abga.
Yeah.
even in NNPP,
Of course.
even in his own NNPP. So it's preposterous for him to say that PDP is dead. I think he made that comment off the hook. You know, he made the number. He made that statement off the hook, and I don't see it. To be very fair with you, to be very honest with you, I don't see the NNPP under Kwankwaso winning the 2027 president.
But remember
Neither
that some
do
people
I.
said that Labour
Neither
Party was
do
not a political party without a structure, but they were able to pull millions of votes during the just concluded election. All right, there's a number on your screen.
There's a significant development. At least the NNPP, they've changed their logo now. They've changed it from having the map of Nigeria and then having a food basket to having education, books, and to imply that education for all. So I think that's the new campaign strategy.
They should start from Kano State. Let them first educate the people of Kano between 2024 and 2027. Well, we see how far they achieved that.
I don't really mean to campaign for anyone, but I believe that when Kwankwaso was there, he actually did a lot when it gets to the education sector. They have so many Kwankwasia building in Kano State. Yeah, like I'm not campaigning for him, but I'm just telling you that you have so many schools in Kano State when he was there, being tuned and refurbished, and it's actually beautiful.
All right, good one.
All right then. Okay. Well, let's get into one of the next segments. We'll be looking at other papers now. Let's take a little break. When we come back, we'll look at stories that made it to the cover pages of the dailies.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's move over to the next segment of the show, which is looking at the front pages of the national dailies this morning. Before me, I have the Guardian newspaper, the Vanguard, the Daily Trust, the Nations, and a whole lot of the national dailies. I would like to start off with the Guardian newspaper. It has its banner headline this morning to be Back to School. Parents groan as fares spike by over 70% amid dropout concerns. Parents groans as fares spike by over 70% amid dropout concern. You can get that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And then we have a cartoon, a very big one there, where we have inflation written boldly, and you will have to endure this time. Inflation is forcing us to cut back on expenses. And to see a school child that have a school bag behind, saying, does cutting back include spending less time in school? So that is what that particular cartoon is talking about. And beneath that, Atiku Huriwa flays Tinubu's plan to raise VAT, warns of devastating consequences. That story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Ajali Edema chide Ayedatiwa over appointment of 344 SAs amid economic hardship. That story is on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. Tanker explosion claims 48 lives, 50 cattle in Niger. That story is on page 8 of the Guardian newspaper. NAFDAC warns against miracle products of faith-based organization. POS operators insist on court ruling amid CAC threats. That story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Reverse petroleum price. Serap, APC chief, tell Tinubu. That story is on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Nigeria is not enjoying benefit of more allocations to states. NLC vows to tackle graft fiscal indiscipline by politicians. That story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper, and that is all we have that made it to the cover page of the Guardian newspaper this morning.
All right, then, from the Vanguard, I beg your pardon, from the Guardian to the Vanguard newspaper now, we have banner headline, petrol price hike. Nigerians at breaking point. NLC, Atiku warn. NLC insists on reversal, urges citizens to revolt against hike. VAT, fuel price hikes will worsen Nigeria's cost of living crisis. Atiku, complete refineries by September or sue contractors, Falana tells FG. As Serap calls for reversal of unlawful fuel price hike. And then on some of the nameplates, VAT, CIT revenue rises 85% to 6.44 trillion naira. Amid economic challenges, FG opens new opportunities with LTC licenses to UTM FLNG. Yaradwa's matriarch, engage in politics of integrity, Clark tells Atiku. 100 fell dead in tanker explosion in Niger State, 50 cows burnt. And JACPA, Canada's student enrollment drops 45% after new study visa cap. And then we also have NDLEA intercepts consignment of cocaine, opioids in sanitary pads, hair cream. All right, well, those are the headlines from the cover page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
And from the Vanguard, we move over to the Daily Trust newspaper. And the banner headline reads, 48 people, 50 cows killed in Niger Road accident. Residents blame speed, bad road. That's a sad one. Ahead of the point users kick as federal government imposes electronic levy. Banks colluding with states to bypass fiscal law, FRC. I'll check that again. Banks colluding with states to bypass fiscal law. We spend 30,000 naira daily to feed our new babies. We spend 30,000 daily to feed our 9 new babies. That's according to a father who had 9 babies at a go.
Good Lord.
9 babies at a go.
Beautiful miracle.
There's a pictorial there. It's about the road accident in Niger. It's a very sad one, ghastly motor accident. And beside that pictorial, you have 196 soldiers resign to proceed on terminal leave, November 1. Kidnapped Bono George regains freedom after 2 months. Deaths by air pollution more than those of malaria, HIV, according to minister. And the bottom headline reads, "We are owed 30 months allowances. Border security personnel cry out." The cry overstay at stations. We are reviewing the process according to customs. And ad hoc arrangement over. And that will be all from the Daily Trust newspaper.
Right on the cover page of the Nation newspaper this morning, the banner headline there reads, "Investors take FGN $500 million bond to over subscription. Experts project 100% intake. Final allotment to beneficiaries this week." And above the nameplate, the window headlines there are, "Residents doctor to lose 7 days pay to strike. No work, no pay, rules stay." That story is on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. 342 billion naira recovered from Nesal MFB debtor. Apex Bank deploys GSI. Wike, Chinese firm signs MOUs to boost power, water in FCT. That story is on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. How to deepen CNG penetration by operators. You can get that on page 16 of the Nation newspaper. And with that again, we have the bottom strip of the headlines on the cover page to be PDP knocks Kwankwaso for referring to party as dead. NBA seeks probe of lawyers' death. Those are the stories that made it to the cover page of the Nation newspaper. And I want to encourage you, for you to be part of today's show, there's a number also moving on your screen. You can call the number, and believe me, we'll be able to talk to you one-on-one. And also, get to the social media handles. On YouTube, we had Voice of the People Television, and on other social media platforms, we had VOP TV Live. I think that's all we can take. How far we can go on the review of the cover page this morning. Just join Chukuma and Moses to do the normal or the extended
in-depth analysis at 9 o'clock, yes.
At 9 o'clock to 10 this morning.
All right, then, but in the meantime, let's take a little break. When we come back, we'll start off with feelers from Yoruba Union as they demand the president's resignation and also talks about mobilizing for what has been termed fearless October protest. Let's have this conversation when we come back. From the views on the street
We go to bed empty hunger.
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents,
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual. It's the fundamental right of everyone to enjoy the highest attainable standard of health without distinction of race, religion, or political belief. On VOP TV, we bring you Health Check, a show that x-rays different health issues and provides solutions with the help of experts in the All right then, well, Abajo, no wonder, that's what that means. And with that, we get into this conversation. The Yoruba Union, Igbemi Majakobaje Ile Yoruba, has called for President Bola Tinubu's resignation in response to rising fuel price and worsening hunger across the southwest and Nigeria, the southwest of Nigeria. Well, the union criticized his economic policies, which they say have plunged many into poverty and reliance on begging. They also condemned the implementation of IMF-backed policies, accusing them of crippling businesses and harming the Nigerian people. Well, Mr. Hardship, angry Nigerians are mobilizing for another #EndBadGovernance protest in October 1st, precisely. Well, the government is trying so hard to stop this protest. However, the ISP International Coordinating Committee has also come out to condemn the Tinubu's administration's attempts to suppress protesters ahead of the what has been termed Fearless in October mobilization, which will launch the next phase of the #EndBadGovernance protest. Well, interestingly, the League of Nigerian Columnists have urged the president to act quickly to avert Nigeria's crisis and rebuild public trust. Meanwhile, Dr. Abdul Jalil Tafawa Balewa, former PDP president.
Very fine. Good morning, Barrister Darlington.
Well, a lot of
Good morning,
Nigerians
Mr.
will
President.
respond negatively to that question because with the weekend came a lot of trouble, a lot of queues for fuel, and it's becoming out of the reach of the common man. But I have a bit of an issue. The Yoruba Union, Now, I'm posing this question to Mr. Fatunke. The Yoruba Union calling for the president's resignation. Two questions here. Is resignation what we should be calling for at this time, or rejigging of policies and rejigging of the economy, which would make more headway? That's on one side. On the other side, this union seems to be more concerned about the Yoruba people. What does that say to the unity of Nigeria?
Thank you very much, Moses. It's nice to be here, Barrister Goma. I also have to join you in greetings, because you didn't greet me, so I have to greet you. All protocol observed. On a more serious note, and why not? Anybody can call for any other person to resign. What does that mean? Do they stand for the entirety of Yoruba nation? I will caution and say no. I do not think they can, or they carry all Yoruba people along. Very similar to how I will also say that if we had from the southeast, from the northwest, northeast, north central, people of those origins calling that Yoruba people, Tiv people, Igbo people, Hausa people, they have a right under the constitutions and under the freedom to say what they have to say, but that they now carry, de facto, a whole race along calls a bit for questioning. Now, for the first part of your question, is that what they should be calling for? I've already said I have a right to call for resignation of anybody within their rights. They have the capacity to be able to do that under the Constitution. You are seeing the second one. You are going to see more and more. Does that mean that they are speaking for the entirety of the Yoruba nation? No. I mean, have they done a plebiscite? Have they done? Have they gone?
No, but is there any organization that speaks for the entire Yoruba people?
I don't think there's any that I know.
So their demands are valid,
including Afenifere.
Yeah, Afenifere. Some people also claim that Afenifere does not speak for them.
Yes, that's what he said.
So what it means is that their demands are valid.
It means,
granted that there is no pan-Yoruba organization that can say we speak for the Yoruba people.
It means their demands are contrary to what we have said. I mean, if you are not speaking for me and you just go out and go out to say anything, please, I don't want us to limit this to whether Yoruba, whether Igbo.
No, but that is where it's coming from.
The truth of the matter is, and where they are coming from, is they are making statements that are factual, and that is the fact that the country is not moving on the right direction and the right.
Right. Now, Barrister Darlington, it looks like Mr. Abdul-Jalil Tafawa actually is not in line with these people. He's of the opinion that President Tinubu inherited a near bankrupted nation. Is it that he's not aware of the fact that, in recent time, just in 1 year, we have 150 billion naira yacht. We have also the presidential jet. We have the VP's mansion renovation. We have Escalade. And these are the things that the president was able to achieve or to buy just for the presidential team, even when we're having a near bankrupt nation, in the words of Tafawa Balewa.
Thank you, Fina. My take, first of all, let us look at what the Yoruba group was saying. Nobody should buy that statement. As far as I'm concerned, it's a shara. Look at it yourself. Throughout Buhari's era, did anybody protest in the Southwest here? And if you go back to our history, political agitation started in Lagos here, in the Southwest mainly. How come under Buhari and Tinubu, nobody now go to protest at Freedom Square? How come? I am telling you authoritative that if these people mean what they are saying, we would have seen them on the streets. They battled the Babangida, they battled Abacha, they battled Jonathan.
Exactly.
How come under this regime you just talk? They don't mean it. Fina, okay, let another ethnic group go there now and protest against Tinubu or APC. You will see the reaction.
But we've also seen how the law courts also issue out orders and restrict people that want to protest for the 1st August to 10th of August, hashtag End Bad Governance protest to a particular place.
Who went to that court? Was it not Lagos State government?
So don't you also think that that is what is kind of paving a way or pushing or making people not to move or get to the street now?
No, it's not enough. Look, if you could battle the military, what are you telling me? Maybe you were not aware. This Southwest Press and their people, they battled the military here. Abacha and Babangida. We saw what they did. How come all of us, all of them, it's not as if they traveled though. It's not as if they're not around. All of them are around, but they have remained quiet.
Barrister, what exactly are you saying?
What I'm saying is that this thing they said, I'm not buying it. They are not serious. If they truly mean that Tinubu is not doing well, I would have seen them on the street because we saw them.
Well, they've picked a date in October to protest, and they've called it Fearless October.
Who fixed it?
To imply that the unions.
Who fixed it?
To imply that regardless of the intimidation, they will come out and protest.
The last one they did, who were the people that were protesting against the protesters? Who were those people that carry machetes? Are they Igbos?
like we've rightly pointed out,
they Igbos?
A union does not speak for the entirety
That's why I'm saying nobody, I should not even pay attention for them. Because I don't see them, they don't want to make a statement so that I will call them and say, that is it. So
back to the question of
that's it now.
The statement of Tafawa Balewa. So what do you have to say about that?
The man that is speaking, where is he coming from? Please, I have said this severally. Let nobody separate Tinubu from Buhari or Tinubu from APC or Tinubu from past regime. Please, nobody should make that mistake.
Abdul Jawad is even a PDP presidential aspirant sometime ago.
Hold on, that one is in the past. He told us himself that he was coming to continue where Buhari stopped. And he was coming to consolidate Buhari's legacy. Tinubu told us this. So why will you not be giving him a soft landing? Tell me, on what basis will he be saying that? And has he shifted from that pronouncement? He's still there, and he's even doing it towards Buhari. And somebody is telling me this and that. You inherited a bad economy, and you are making it worse. And you said I should not be giving you, cutting a flag for you. It's not possible now. Tinubu knows what he wants, and he's doing it. Because Nigeria has been captured. APC have captured Nigeria, whether you like it or not. That's why they are doing everything with impunity and arrogance. Is he bothered? A president that is bothered that his country, he will remain in China by now. After what happened within Niger, 48 people died because of tanker and trailer, whatever. Explosion. No president anywhere in the world will see this disaster in his country and will remain outside. What are you doing there? So he doesn't bother about you. It's all about himself. And the people that are talking, they saw all this, they kept quiet. Imagine if it is the other way around. Moses, I am telling you, they would have been in the street by now, protesting. Telling you what has gone wrong with everything. I am telling you, I have seen this here happen several times. Ordinary election that happened last year. Did you see what happened? Those people who were harassing the Igbos and all that, were they Fulanis or Hausas? Who were those people? So please, when they put up this statement, I don't even want to talk about it because they are not what they are saying. They are not. If a whole by another guy, as hard as it is, can be threatening an ethnic group, every time it's all about tribal sentiment. And you want me to believe what they are saying? They are not serious. If they are serious, I would have seen them in the street protesting. Yes, they did it to Jonathan. Even when that man did not do one quarter of what Tinubu has done so far. Everybody knew what happened in that 2012 when they protested at Ojota. Has it not gone worse in that time? Why can't Bakar and his group come out and start protesting? Or are they not in Nigeria again? You see, all of them have remained quiet.
All right, then. Let's get back to Mr. Wafatunke now. This administration, I mean, a lot of Nigerians are looking at this administration, like they are trying to cow the people. They are trying to prevent people from exercising their civic rights, which is to protest. With all the arrests going on, protesters have been accused of treasonable felony, which is a grave accusation, if you ask me. What's your take on this?
My take is, given good governance, we are not being properly governed, we are not properly structured, we have different tribes and tongues. You heard baristas speak just now, and then no two sides will always win an argument. So we'll all just get into
I
it.
would use
The
argument.
truth of the matter is repression, whether surreal, imagined, or potential, stems from when you don't do the right things and you don't govern well. Sani Abacha showed his fan.
Are you saying that this administration,
Initially,
are you
when
saying the
people were
president is
saying-
not governing well?
Nigeria is not structured to be governed well.
Nigeria is not structured.
Yes.
To be governed. So it's not
So-
the fault of the leader now.
It cannot
It's the fault of the structure.
Look, we cannot get into a rickety vehicle and you expect that you are going to get to desired land.
What
We
is
need
the
to come-
essence? What is the essence of electing an individual to take care of affairs of a nation if that individual is not to put structures in place and make things fall in line?
What is the essence of putting a very good driver in a vehicle that has no tires?
So what do you think?
So are you
Nigerians
saying the
should do at
president
this
is a
point?
very good driver and Nigeria has no tires and cannot move forward regardless?
Thou sayest what you
No, I'm
want to
asking
say.
you, sir.
No. If you're asking me, and I'm very clear, you cannot put a driver in a rickety vehicle. Why are we pretending? Why are we now looking at Bola Tinubu? What I'm saying to you, whether it is Bola Tinubu,
we are looking at Bola Tinubu.
excuse me,
Yes, because it's
whether
the man at
it
the
is,
helm of affairs.
excuse-
One man.
yes,
Yes,
but
that's
you
why.
heard from me that Nigeria is not being governed well. How do you expect?
Mr. Fatuke, this particular
no,
vehicle has
please,
been moving from
let me-
1999
No.
up until this moment, and things were not as bad as they are.
Well,
now.
things are not as
So
bad.
don't you think it has something to do with the driver and not with the vehicle?
Well-
because a particular driver, certain drivers
you,
drove the vehicle, and it was on a speed lane.
According to you, it's been moving well. It's not been moving well for me.
But it's worse than it was before. That's the issue.
So look,
So it has not something to do with the driver. Don't you consider that?
excuse me, the jury will eventually come. I don't want us to get into an argument on this.
No, it's an
A
argument.
PDP government ruled for 16 years.
And within those 16 years, the economy moved to $500 billion.
PDP ran us aground.
But the economy moved to $500 billion.
Excuse me.
No, I would
And
disagree.
for the past 8 years, the economy has made a downward
Now,
slide.
if your question
To the point
is your
that
question to
$2.7
me, is your
billion
question to me about Tinubu?
We were number one, but we are
Is
now
your
number
question
5.
to me about Tinubu or about Nigeria?
About both the president
It's one
and
and the
Nigeria.
same.
So I have told you that Nigeria is not structured in a way that will make an angel even lead. You heard me say that clearly.
Not
Now,
possible.
about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, my ground with Bola Ahmed Tinubu is personal example and character. Okay? He's not led in a way that is going to inspire. I agree with you absolutely. I mean, she talked about reacting. She talked about, living larger than life. That is not. Yes, I agree. But put any other person in there with the same structure that we have.
Well,
and
we
I'm
don't
saying,
know that for sure.
as far as I am concerned, if it is about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I don't think Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not done well. I've said it clearly as well. I don't know what else you want me to say. But I said my own focus coming to analysis here is not just about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's about Nigeria.
He took 30 years before he came into this position. He told Nigerians that it took him 30 years to prepare on how to navigate and move this country to where it should be. So do you also still think that it's about the vehicle?
He
now,
told
not
you
the
that?
driver?
Yes, it's
You make mention of that
And you
when it's
believe
manifest.
him?
okay.
So there's a
So
difference.
are you saying we shouldn't believe the word he says now as the number one person of this country?
I've
Is that
never
president?
believed anything that any president of this country has said. Okay? I have never believed. I'm not fooled. I'm not fooled by it. Because it's a turn by turn thing. We've had people of different levels, and I'm saying the structure is faulty.
When we didn't know it was a turn-by-turn thing until someone came to say, it's my
I
turn.
wonder.
Oh, really?
I wonder.
Yes.
Oh, it's not turn by turn.
Did you know it was a turn-by-turn thing?
Of course, I knew it was a turn by turn thing.
Until someone pronounced it is my turn.
Oh, well, you had, that's when you had, and that's when you started acting. My position is simple. Nigeria has been quartered in such a way that some people believe that it is their birthright to always continue to rule until when MQ Abiola came. And then we started saying, okay, it's going to be the turn of the North, the turn of the South, which was one of the things that PDP put in there. somebody from South came into Nigeria, and then you now say to me that according to you that he led so well. Yes, in relative terms, he did lead, but not so well. He couldn't have done much better than he did.
The person that you are, Mr. Fatuke, the person that you are referring to from the Southwest didn't start the PDP leadership. It was started by a Southwesterner, Olusegun Obasanjo. So it was not clearly a Jonathan issue.
So what's your point?
My issue is that this country, this particular vehicle, you say that it is faulty,
yes,
was driven by 3 other people. And they were driving very well until a certain people came into office. Well, that is what I want you to concede. The problem is basically not with the vehicle, but with the drivers.
I'm sorry, I can't concede that. I'm a developmental economist.
So what is it all about? And I give you instances. Our economy moved in 16 years. We moved to number 1 of the Nigerian economy, of American economy.
Nigeria was
with $500 billion.
Nigeria was structured.
In 8 years, we are now number 4. And you said the problem is not with the driver.
I thought you were asking me a question.
But you don't want to answer the question.
No. You can't push it on me.
I'm not pushing it. I want you to be clear on this.
So let me make it clear. As far as you are concerned, that is your belief. I don't share your belief.
So what facts do you have? What do you have facts? Because I'm reeling out facts here. I've given you the fact. From Obasanjo to Jonathan, we moved to $500 billion economy. And from Buhari to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have gone down from number 1 to 94. Our GDP now is $247 billion. So is the problem with the vehicle or with the driver?
So let me take you on it. So how do you...
Inflation moved from 8% to 22%, and within 1 year, it moved from 22% to 38.4%. Is the problem with the driver or with the vehicle?
Are you going to allow me to?
No, I've given you facts, so I want you to counter me with facts.
I am an economist. Maybe you are a journalist. How do you measure? How do you do the basing that you mentioned? What was the exchange rate at the time that you are saying the economy was what it is? What is the exchange rate now? What was the inflation at that time? You see, if you go into the real economic metrics, because I see that the way don't look at it from that angle. Nigeria was primed in a situation where we got priorities all wrong. We were leading larger than life. We were stealing ourselves to stupor. And so, down the line, am I therefore saying that the people I met Tinubu is better than others? I haven't said that. And I was clear. I thought my English was clear. So if you and that's why I'm asking you, what exactly do you want to hear from me? You want me to talk about Bola Tinubu? You want me to talk about Nigeria? I'd rather talk about Nigeria. I'd rather talk about the future. And I'm saying, going further down, Nigeria will continue to slide further and further. Bring an angel, he will not be able to rectify because the structure is faulty. We are not united. We are not looking at things from the same angle. A few people have cornered themselves together and they keep on cornering themselves back. Bola Tinubu cannot, exculpate himself from that. I've been clear.
All right, now, Barrister, I need to also get back to you on this one. When we were talking earlier, I made mention of how some people protested even during the military regime, and there were nothing like arrest. Nobody arrested anybody, nobody gagged anyone, but rather the military listened. Now, this case in Nigeria, as it is the present time, Nigerians came out to protest #8BadGovernance, 1st of August to 10th of August. Over 2,000 people were arrested, and over 1,000 also were remanded. Now, my question is, Barrister, are you of the opinion now that the military regime kind of listened to the cry of people over what we have now in the democracy that we practice in Nigeria?
Let us be clear. The military arrested protesters during their time, but it didn't deter them.
I don't know if people get your facts.
Hold on. I'm correcting some misgivings here. I don't know. But if the military did what they did, we can understand. It's a military regime. They don't like opposition. But we are talking of a democratic governance now. And the man who is there now told us he was a human rights fighter. He did all in fact, he fought the military. So how come under his regime, this things you are mentioning is happening? That is the contradiction here. We expected things to be better under his watch, but it's not getting better. Now, let me answer Mr. Fatuke. Look, one of the reasons why people change leadership is because of what? Performance. Performance. APC told us that we are coming to correct all the evil things PDP did. There is nothing they did not blame PDP for. They sold the dummy to Nigerians. Gullible Nigerians, they bought it. Please, can you mention one thing APC promised us that they have fulfilled? One, just one of them, one. And you know where we were when PDP was there.
Well,
before
APC
they left.
did promise change.
Sorry?
APC promised change. And,
change for the better or for the worse?
Well, that's up to whoever is
but that's, no, from their, hold on, from their body language and from their intention, they mean changing from the bad PDP to better APC. That was the meaning of their change. One of them.
One is in the works.
Okay, fine.
And that is local government administration, which everybody... no, you see again...
Hold on, I'm coming.
You said I should mention one.
Hold on, I'm coming. Hold on, I'm coming.
Go ahead.
Leave that constitutional matter. It have not said true. In fact, I don't even see the light of day because it will not be perfected.
Because you don't trust.
So, when you are talking of performance, that's what we are looking at. Performance index. Everybody have agreed. No, even APC people, they are even ashamed now to mention their party and their leadership because of what they have done so far in office.
So do you think the October 1st...
Now, hold on, I'm coming before October 1st. You are talking of not blaming Tinubu, not blaming everybody. Why did they come into office if they were coming to make things worse?
No, I didn't say you should not blame.
So hold on now. In Anambra State, there was a quagmire in leadership in that place until P2B came on board.
Okay.
Mbadunju closed school for 2 years in Anambra because the Oba brother would not allow him to breathe.
Yes.
Ngige took over. They took him to a shrine and all that.
Yes.
After all this shenanigan, P2B came.
Yes. And
please.
Change things for the
good.
better.
Under his 8 years, Anambra.
And under APC, under Fashola, things did not change for better in Lagos.
Hold on, we are coming.
Because you started mentioning names.
I am coming.
So let's compare.
Let me finish what I'm doing.
Okay.
I am talking of leadership.
Yes.
You and I know how Fashola came into office, so let us not go there. P2B was not appointed by anybody. Really? He came in with the vote of Anambra people.
Really?
All the successive governors
did not support Obi.
Hold on now. We are talking about appointing a governor. It's different from voting for a governor.
Okay.
P2B was voted into office by Anambra people. And you see, you are no godfather.
And Fashola was not voted by
I would not like for us to compare the personalities.
He had a godfather. You cannot be a governor in Lagos without a godfather appointing you. So what I'm saying in essence is that, yes.
Let's limit this thing to our macroeconomic...
No, he was the one interjecting.
Macroeconomic policies, that speak to the Nigerian nation, as a whole. We're talking about interest rate, exchange rate, balance of payment, fiscal policy, and all of that.
Yes.
Recently, just over the weekend, a group of columnists, Nigerian columnists, people who write columns, they came together and said that the National Assembly should scrap what they call the constituency projects. That it is a means to fritter money funds because actually they are not supposed to be contractors. Exactly. I understand that these monies are paid into their accounts and then in turn give out contracts to people and sometimes to their own companies, more like having business in business.
Ned Nwoko was boasting that he got 1 billion.
Like Aline maybe. Do you think it's a way we should go? Because you also discover that some of the jobs they do, they're more like
local governments.
They're more like stand in for either the federal or state governments that are unable to do these things. I recall that in my area, my senator and members of the National Assembly have done like water boreholes and they graded some roads, not asphalting them.
Don't you think that some of them constructed latrines? So
don't you think it is better we leave them?
And bought wheelbarrow.
But is it not better we allow the constituency projects to stay there and just scrap them like that? What's your take on that?
It has not benefited anybody. That thing go and ask Ned Nwoko, that 1 billion naira he came to boast of, what he did with it in Delta State. Go and ask him. Except to acquire more women for himself. What else? Tell me what he did with that one.
For that.
I mean, what are you saying? Is it a hidden fact? If a man can have 15 women, what are you talking about? Do you know how much it takes to take care of them?
Really, you don't need 1 billion to have many women.
So I'm telling you now, let him come and challenge me. So that's what they are doing, all of them. Use constituency money. Have anybody probed it for one day and said, okay, let us go and find out what did you do with this money? Where is the project? Let us evaluate it. Since he started, Obasanjo started this thing when he wanted to sustain himself in power. He didn't want the National Assembly to put eye in what he's doing. That was when he started to pacify them. And if you're a leader, and you want, look, that's why I'm saying that when we have a leader who will do the right thing, all these things will stop. I know how Obi stopped all the rubbish Oba brothers were doing in Anambra now. And heaven did not fall. That's what I'm telling you. Somebody can stop all these things. That is if you come into office in a credible manner. But when you have a skeleton in your cupboard, you'll be looking for a way to cover yourself, appointing those who will surrender to you, appointing those who will do your bidding and not the bidding of Nigerians. That's what is going on. A leader that Nigerians will vote, the vote will count. I am telling you authoritatively, he won't even think twice before he will cancel all this thing, because what are you going to court for? Will you go to court to challenge him? If you remove him,
Mr. Aki is of the opinion that the structure is bad, and Nigeria is not working because Nigerians have stolen themselves to stupor. That's what he said precisely.
Our rulers.
I don't believe that.
Okay. When you said Nigerians, so that's
please,
where
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It was APC that destroyed this same culture, this same structure. There was a structure before they came into office. They destroyed it.
And that structure
mention one thing they inherited that they have upheld. Mention one thing.
And that structure was what?
Those things that it was keeping Nigeria moving for 16 years under PDP. Mention one of them that APC sustained.
But when you say the APC destroyed the structure, during the time of the PDP, Nigerians also called for change. Nigerians wanted the PDP out.
No, you didn't get it. They use propaganda to deceive Nigerians. That's what I'm telling you. Look at all the propaganda they carried out. I said all the things they promised Nigerians, have they fulfilled one? As to say, yes, these people actually meant what they were saying. No.
But if
today now, Nigerians have seen better. They have seen their eye have opened. They now realize that APC was lying.
If the country was actually moving forward, do we need anybody's propaganda for us to have a change of mind?
You can see, hold on now. Are you not seeing people crying for PDP regime? They say they should take us back to where they met us. At least you both right here for
even some governors are calling for Jonathan to come back and contest.
They were deceived.
At the time, Nigerians wanted change. At the time.
They never wanted, they were induced. Moses, you don't know what propaganda can do, especially when you are hypnotized. They were carried.
Are you saying that the APC hypnotized
yes,
Nigerians?
They were hypnotized by the so-called Mr. Integrity of Buhari. They said Mr. Buhari
people must be superhuman beings.
Yes, Buhari came out with.
But they didn't hypnotize you, though.
Hold on, Buhari came out with a superhuman being facade. People believe that Buhari, who is a very innocent man, he's a man of integrity, he's not corrupt. Is that not what they sold to us?
Okay, now
Tinubu said that was why they brought Tinubu. I mean, that was why they brought Buhari. That is the only one who can defeat Jonathan. That was their purpose.
Barrister Darlington, now that in your words, more like the hypnotized pattern or ways of APC is beginning to fail, the Nigerians are getting more aware now. Do you think that this October 1st fearless protest is going to hold water?
It may end up like the last one. Oh. They are going to mobilize their honchos, their jackboots to descend on innocent Nigerians. They are going to mobilize. Now that you have told them, they are mobilizing already.
What does it mean? What does it mean for democracy if Nigerians are prevented from airing their view?
Okay. You don't need to be told where we are going. You don't need to be told. Because under Jonathan, please, can you mention one time any protester was arrested? Even those who went to Ajali that were they arrested, they only dispatched them with water cannon. That was what they did. But here, look at many people that are languishing in jail now because they protested. So if they stop that of October, I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised because that is one of the greatest enemy of any dictator. Protest. They don't want to hear. Because they know that their position is not...
Sorry, but Mr. K, let me come to you on this. Mr. K, you have always had the opportunity, you've always had the opinion that the End Bad Governance protest was a huge success.
Yes, I did.
You gave it like 70 to 80%.
I'm even increasing it to 90%.
To 90%. Yes. Good. And in the light of recent happenings, after the protest, Nigerians said, please, President, cut down on the cost of governance.
Yes.
Just after that, the President bought an Escalade, bought an airplane,
yes,
and all of that, and people are saying, the organizers are saying, look, what we want now is fearless October 1.
Yes.
Do you still believe that that protest was a success? And how do you see the October 1 protest panning out?
I think the last protest was a success.
The August.
I also think that the 2020, SARS was some relative, progressively successful. And you don't measure success from the hard facts. There are soft and softer parts. To the extent that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you may agree or disagree, is backing and kowtowing and saying, I'm listening to you, I'm all that kind of thing, is some form of success. You are also right. And that is why I use the word character. You heard me use the word character. When the character is not such that you can lead by example, I foresee this October 1 protest becoming a bit much more successful. Now, you also said clearly, and I was very clear in my thoughts when I talked about the issues surrounding the August protest. People were arrested. This allowed due process to get through. There were very bad people, whether sponsored by government or not, that were doing terrible things to innocent Nigerians. You saw it as media people. And they were arrested. You will not say, you now don't want to ban them all together. Allow things to move in those particular trajectory. Yes, we should now allow the wheel of justice to move very, 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 very fast, or maybe faster. It's very, very important. And I like to say two things. I wanted to make that point before you came in. My barrister was talking about hypnotism or no hypnotism and stuff like that. And I was just saying he was not hypnotized. I am happy he's not hypnotized. There's another opportunity. Bola Ahmed Tinubu won that election, fair or foul, because there was major division within the PDP caucus. Obi, Kwankwaso, and Atiku Abubakar, they are all coming back now. Please allow that. I am looking for credible opposition. If they all can come back together, and I've said it openly, Atiku and Kwankwaso, allow Peter Obi, for fairness, for the next 4 years after 27, allow him to come. Those are the things we should, in fact, that is the area we should be looking at. But today, they are joining together. Tomorrow, they are not joining together. And you are calling people that they are being hypnotized. Is it not self-immolation? A word is enough for the wise.
Okay.
All right,
now,
then.
Let me even tell you this. Please, I don't want to hear that Tinubu won that election by landslide. It's just 38%. He won only 12 states out of 36.
Well, he didn't say landslide.
He said by fair or foul.
Yes. So he didn't win that election.
He won the election.
As he's supposed to.
He won the election.
As a matter of fact, everybody.
But he was pronounced the winner.
That's what I'm saying. We have. They said we should let go. We should let go. We have let go. Let nobody remind us of the bad. It was a bad dream. It was a bad dream. In the first place, hold on. In the first place, should he have contested that election? Going by the things he presented to us. In a Senate climb, should Tinubu have contested that election? With what certificate? Tell me. What did he present to us?
Darlington,
We should not dwell on infamy. We should not dwell on infamy. Let us not celebrate what is wrong. Let us not celebrate what is wrong.
We have a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu. Take it or leave it.
We can see the result. We can see the result.
No, wait.
If it was the other person, will you people accept it?
But what if you are?
If Jonathan had that kind of credential, will you accept him as your president? Will you accept him?
All right, then.
Will you accept him? I know what we have been going on in the street now. They will tell you they will not agree.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for good or for fair or whatever, is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Well, he is the president of Nigeria, whether we like it or not.
We have accepted.
We
have accepted. Lots people should stop reminding us of this bad dream. It was a bad dream. We have accepted it, but let nobody remind us again. That's what I'm saying.
Now you are the one under hypnotism.
It was a bad dream.
Barrister Darlington, let
us move Nigeria forward.
Let me stay with you on this, Barrister Darlington.
Okay.
Sarah has called the president to reverse the pump price of petroleum, of fuel, from $8.97 to the $610, the original price. And also asked for NNPCL to be probed.
Yeah.
Do you see this coming true? Is there a possibility in 48 hours? Is there a possibility?
Please, Tinubu have told you that there's no going back on the fuel issue. Mr. Okoro, let me tell you, maybe this is one of the reasons why I feel like I can open up Nigeria, that every Nigerian, so that they will understand what is going on. Mr. Okoro, over the weekend, I think last week, personally, I was shouting that there is fraud in the NNPC with the arrangement they had with Dangote refinery. That up till now, we don't know how many liters of fuel we are consuming in a day. At least from that, we know how much we are paying for subsidy. Mr. Okoro, over the weekend, the thing went down to 30 million. Which is what I was saying, that PDP was paying 30 million throughout their regime. How come the thing went over? From the same 30 million that they kept over the weekend, all of a sudden, it went back to over 60 million. Please, are you not supposed to ask questions? Because I've told you here that if given the opportunity, I can pay subsidy on petroleum. And nobody will feel it because the amount you are consuming is so negligible. It cannot affect our budget in any form. After all, these other countries that are paying it, what happened to the economy? Crumbled. Can't people ask questions? These other people that are paying subsidy in everything, the government is providing for them. Do they have to head there? It's because there was accountability. There was no corruption in it. How can you be subsidizing corruption? Is that not why this thing is so huge? Tell me, just 3 weeks ago, NNPC told us that we are owing them 6 trillion naira. Mr. Okoro, a local accounting firm was out to audit it. The thing came down to 2.6. NNPC now said, oh, yeah, it's true, yes, it's true. We made a mistake. Listen very well, oh. They made a mistake in giving you that figure. Imagine if nobody went into probe. We have been owing NNPC 6 trillion now, and they will pay it. And tell us, we spend so much money on subsidy. That's what I'm telling you. If we go into accountability, Nigeria can pay subsidy and nobody will notice it. But because the money is shrouded in corruption, heavy corruption. Okay, look at it now. Now that thing has went over to 60 million liters per day, you can now see, they are not telling you that anybody can go and buy from Dangote because they have covered their tracks. So whatever they would have gained by being a sole uptaker, they are not getting it from the 60 million. That's it. You can see why people are playing on intelligence.
So you don't see the president reversing the fuel price.
Reversing what? When his company or he alleged company will be the beneficiary, his alleged company will be the beneficiary. Why is it always on PMS, Mr. Okoro? Ask yourself that question. Diesel is not in controversy. Aviation fuel is not in controversy. Kerosene is not in controversy. Why is it fuel? Nigerians, answer me this question before we go further. Why is it that it's all about fuel? Meanwhile, nobody has come to give us a correct figure. How much are we paying for subsidy per day? How much are we consuming? Nobody, even the NNPC doesn't know. The president doesn't know. Nobody has come to tell us this is the actual amount we are consuming. No. That is where the fraud and corruption is.
So do you think someone is covering up some people's gap, given the fact that we still have the same man, the group GMD?
Well, that is why he's still there. Now, for a man who has performed below par, are you supposed to keep him? But because he's the covering for people's interest, is that not why he's there? I just gave you an example of what is going on there now. A figure that came down to 30 million. Under 24 hours, he went back to 60.
All right, then. Some Nigerians are of the opinion that even the NNPC is not actually ready to, refine crude, refine and get PMS at this time. What's your take?
With due respect, as an oil and gas person, I am not joining the mob.
You are even one of them.
Oh, yes, I'm one of them, except that I have my head straight and I can come on public television.
We have not probed you.
To speak. Oh, I mean, I'm open to probe. I disagree with Barrister Agomo
on what?
On the issues
surrounding,
on the issues surrounding Dangote. That is a singular intervention in this country that we should all support. Again, in terms of the way he was talking, somebody got there wrongly or whatever, is there. We now have a refinery that we all should support. But it's also right, going back to the fact that it's corruption. It's corruption. Nigeria is not structured to succeed. We are looking at NNPC, we're looking at security. Security during Jonathan's time, you know what happened. So, during PDP's time. So, I am saying I'm saying the issue of the subsidy is right. Every other country subsidizes, but we are supposed to be subsidizing production and not consumption. Secondly, I said we are of different tribes and tongues. And thirdly, I have also told you that we don't have people who are ruling us, not just with the fear of God, with the kind of character. And it has dovetailed since 2020, since the return to civil rule.
Now, whose fault is that, really?
So,
is that the fault of the people that elect them into office?
No,
or is that the fault of the Constitution that allows people that are not...
You use the word elected. Are we electing in Nigeria?
So whose fault is it? The judiciary that approves some of these things?
The fault is collective. We must all get back to drawing boards. And this is the point I have made from onset.
Well, I have a problem with you blaming the people that are suffering for the leaders that they...
You are the one blaming people.
You are
the one blaming people. I've said that, look, we are all in this rickety. I said we all must come back and get together, okay? Whether it's the rules and the line and those who are not lying, Nigeria is structured in a way that will not take us to the next direction. All these things that we are talking about, we must restructure. We must get ourselves back into winning ways. If we don't do that, 2027 will come, it's going to be much more worse.
Mr. King, in clear terms, what do you want us to do this restructuring on? What are we restructuring?
Restructure Nigeria.
And in doing that, please,
okay.
for some seconds, just tell us about the role of leadership in moving a country forward.
When you have sheep leading lions, you can never move forward. I hope you understand that clearly. And there's a difference between leadership and rulership. What we have been having all over is people coming, is their turn, go and do whatever it is you are going to do, because the rickety constitution that we have allows.
I'm sorry. When you have sheep leading lions,
yes,
we can never move forward.
You can't be ferocious and you can't be audacious.
Are you of the opinion that everyone contesting for electoral positions are not good enough to contest for positions? Because you also did say that even if a Peter Obi, I'm not talking about the president of Peter Obi, but a Peter Obi get into that position, he will also not do as well.
Within the structure.
Because the structure is
I
there.
happen to know that if Peter Obi wants to go up to the north and he faces the Atlantic Ocean, love him, or do whatever it is, he will not get there. Is this not simple enough? I am saying the structure is not. We are not united.
So who will fix the structure now? Should the people carry banners to fix the structure?
No.
Because should people go to the National Assembly to fix the structure?
No.
Or the judiciary? Who will fix the structure?
Did you listen to the patriots? Did they not tell us basic things that we all should know? That is the issue. So
okay.
If we are not going on
can
that
we get our concluding thoughts in, because we are out of time for
another.
Your concluding thoughts, please, in about 10 minutes.
Nigeria should restructure. Nigeria should tell ourselves the truth. This turn-by-turn thing will not get us anywhere. We are not united in tongue. We are not united in tribe. We are not united in religion. Let us all get back, without necessarily wanting to shed blood, and take the voice of Hamadu Bello. We are different. Let's understand our differences. And let's fashion a reasonable constitution that will allow people to go into different ways and develop. Not this quasi federal structure that we are lying to ourselves.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aki.
You are welcome.
Barrister.
Yes, please. Let us not blaming the people or the constitution for now. Some people managed this constitution before APC came into power. I don't like the idea of calling Nigerians. APC promised Nigerians that they were coming to restructure Nigeria. That was their selling point. That was why Nigerians listened to them. Okay. And for 9 years now, they have not even mentioned it. They have not mentioned Buhari for 8 years. He just put Jonathan's constitutional conference.
Oh, you mean restructure?
He put it under the table.
They have not mentioned restructure.
In what way have they restructured? What have they done to move Nigeria forward? Except this extravagant spending all over the world.
What about the local government administration?
Please leave that local government.
Thank you to you, gentlemen, for your thoughts on this one. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll look at another thing that is plaguing the country. soldiers are, leaving the service, going into other things, as Army denies allegation that the dismissal of soldiers, they deny allegation that soldiers resigning is not because of corruption, but because of other issues, most of them personal. Let's talk about this when we come back.
All right, welcome back, and thanks for staying with us as we delve into our second topic of discussion on this morning's show. Nearly 200 soldiers in the Northeast and other regions have applied for voluntary retirement, sparking claims of widespread discontent. However, the Nigerian Army have refuted allegations of mass resignations due to corruption and poor morale. In a statement, Army spokesperson Onyema Nwachukwu dismissed the reports as misleading, affirming that personnel are free to retire under the proper procedures, and called the allegation an attempt to create disaffection within the ranks. He emphasized that the routine discharges follow established protocols in the military. And we still have in the studio with us Mr. Aki Fatuke, communications consultant, and Barrister Darlington Agomo, a political analyst.
Thank you.
Thanks for staying with us.
Thank you.
Barrister Agomo, let me come straight to you on this. Yes. This is the second time in 1 month that Nigerian soldiers are resigning. First, I think there were about 80-something or less than 100. But now we have 196 of them resigning, citing low morale and corruption as the reason for their resignation.
Exactly.
But the army have come out to say, no, it's a normal thing. Barrister Darlington, can you help us make sense of what is happening to the Nigerian military?
Mr. Okoro, thank you so very much for this. You don't need to go far. Just last week or a few weeks ago, we played a voice note of an army man who was speaking in Hausa language, and he was lamenting on this platform. It was even Fina who helped us to interpret most of what he was saying. It boiled down to what? Low morale, that they have not been given order to do their job. This particular complaint has been going on under Buhari. The military have even been embarrassed that how can a ragtag, militia, terrorists be disturbing them for too long? That it is not their fault. That those who are supposed to give the right order have not been giving them orders. So what do you want them to do?
But
so some people,
the terrorists, are they really ragtag? Because you see them better equipped, with better arsenal than the Nigerian military. Do you still describe them as ragtag?
If I am not mistaken, most of your soldiers who have resigned, they have joined the terrorists. That's why you can see them performing so well. Where did they train? Which military force trained them outside here? Most of the soldiers that are leaving our own Nigerian army are joining them because they see them as better whatever. I told you what happened sometime in 2018 at military barracks.
Do you have facts to that statement?
Which statement?
That soldiers are resigning from the military to join.
He was saying that they performed so well, and I'm saying that they couldn't have performed well if the hand of the military are not there.
Well,
yes, now it's only a military man that can handle such weapons the way they are handling it. So what are you now saying? The people that resign, even the people they captured, who is going to operate that APC they captured? Is it not a military man who is schooled in it, who knows about it? So you can see, what is disturbing us is us. These boys now who left the military, go and check. They would have found succor in these people. They would have found succor there. Because those people, they know what they want and they're not missing words. That is why they can be able to keep our military busy for this long. Now, let me ask you, Mr. Okoro. Since the military is telling us that we should not listen to what they are saying and all that, can you tell me one single reason why our military could be resigning en masse in this form under this insecurity challenge?
Well, the military has come out to say that resigning is a normal thing. It happens. But if we have that picture, a publication, the Punch newspaper publication from 2023, where we had some resignation of the military, we'd like to have that up. But that was in 2023. About 25 military officials resigned, citing corruption in the military and low morale. Well, it's been the same thing, the same conversation.
So
196 specifically
even increasing in number.
Have resigned. And, well, they have, tendered their resignation. And we do know that, yes, they can, either on health grounds or for other personal reasons or to pursue other endeavors. But a research organization, Global Firepower, rated Nigeria's armed forces 35 out of 142 countries considered for the annual ranking. That was in 2022. In 2023, Nigeria dropped from Africa. Nigeria was third position in Africa, with Egypt and Algeria taking the lead. But right now, Nigeria's position has dropped to fourth position, with South Africa occupying the third position that was initially occupied by Nigeria. And part of the reasons for this drop is pegged on lack of firepower, lack of having, the non-availability of enough firepower. Let's look at what is being budgeted for defense. We have a whole lot, more than 20%. More than 20% of Nigeria's budget goes into defense. And we've heard of acquisition of Tucano jets and combat helicopters and the rest. What exactly is going on? Is it that the military are not being tutored on how to use these things? Or what exactly is going on that, we don't have enough, we're not using the firepower that we have?
In fact, you took the words out of my mouth. I was coming to that figure you read out. Everybody is aware of it. The question is, why did it drop? We are not fighting any external aggression. All this is internal. They know where these guys are. Even some government officials have told us that listen to what they are saying. They know where they are. Gumi told us that whenever he wants to visit them, that government officials give him backing and he goes there and come out. So if you have not been able to do the needful with the terrorists, it means that there is something you are not telling us. And that is why the military are losing morale. It's as simple as that. Let nobody defend the military here. Because before Buhari left, I think a month or so, the chairman of armed forces in the Senate, I think either Senate or House of Reps, they brought out the figure that they are giving the military. The man read out that so far in 7 years, they have given the military about 12 trillion naira, and there is nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. Remember when Buhari said they should probe the military, what came out of it? Nothing. The man that took over from Borotai, I think Bafara was so, as the chief of army staff. This man was ready to do the job. We saw the impact under that few days he was in office, until suddenly a helicopter crash or something. The man died there somewhere near Zaria. That was how that thing ended. Because the man came to, remember when he was invited by the Senate to talk about the arms they were supposed to buy. The man blasted them and said, why are they calling him? That he just came into office. Is it Borotai who bought the money, whom they gave the money? That they should go and ask him. That he had nothing to do. He just came into office. Why should they ask him? The man blasted them and left. And apparently, because of the way he was carrying on, they didn't like him. And so there was a mysterious plane crash. And he died with the cream of military men who were with him. Up to today, nothing has come out of that probe. So, my dear, let nobody be deceived. There are people who are benefiting from this insecurity. And some people who don't like what is going on, they left the military. They left. That's it. They left because they can't contain it. How can you say I should go to the battlefront with a stick? Meanwhile, the terrorists are carrying the air rifle. Is it that we don't have money to buy it? The terrorists are now have more money than Nigeria. Is that what you're saying?
Let me come to Mr. Fatuke now. Well, we do know that earlier in the year, a military official complained on social media how the 50,000 naira that he received for that month could not even take him to travel. He was done at the camp, but then he couldn't even travel, so he had to stay back because what got to him that month.
So I disagree entirely that our military, yes, allegedly, you also talk about police, you talk about our religious leaders, you talk about all segments. They all have their hands here and there. And it's one of the reasons why I made that statement that when you have sheep trying to lead lions, you end up, in the gutter. As far as I'm concerned, I give kudos to our military. I think within the ambit of how they should have operated all this while, they have done extremely well. I'm very proud of them, and I'm going to continue to encourage them. Yeah, they've not been perfect, and I don't think any other segment of our, society is any perfect. Now, come back to the news item you read. I am a processed person. Yeah, it's easy for me to jump on the train and say, oh yeah, 162 has resigned. But the authorities have made a statement that it is not true. Yeah. Okay.
Well, the allegation actually, or the conversation actually, is that these officers are resigning to join other military forces, that of Russia, that of Ukraine. That's the conversation.
So
now, in as much as the military have come to deny that, but we still see the resignation in numbers.
Moses, are your teachers not resigning to go look for jobs in Ukraine and Russia? Are your doctors not resigning? What is it?
Does that make it even better? Does that make it acceptable?
You are talking about security here.
Look, this is where I have a challenge. I have a challenge because you cannot now be approbating and reprobating.
Where does that leave our military strength?
Excuse me. Oil and gas experts, my colleagues, resigned and they went elsewhere.
Why are they resigning?
They are resigning because of the conditions at home.
Good.
Wait. Please allow me.
Okay.
Because when this people thought maybe I was no more part of this analysis. And allow me to land on my point. Ihe Jirika was an army commander that operated under the PDP. And he was doing fantastically well. A president stopped him on his tracks. Look, again, I don't want to now be going into little bits and pieces. Now, talking about people resigning, you merely just talked about another 25. Are you saying you are hearing for the very first time that within the military, we've been having mutiny as far back as during Obasanjo's time? Because the structure is not working in the way that they should work. Again, let me summarize. Kudos to our military. I know they've lost lives and limbs. Yes, they are not perfect. Well, they may not be the best that you can, you can say under the kind of circumstance. So the engineers, so lawyers, so nurses and doctors. When you don't have good governance, when you don't have good structure, come back to the point I made. When it is now going to be a Nigerian police force, we need to begin to change that mindset. We need to begin to now look at situations where we take governance down to the level. APC, I'm not an APC person, but APC is working on that trajectory, something that has never been done before. That we don't trust them is another thing entirely. Now we don't trust the military. The military high command says they have their right to go wherever they are. And you are now reminding me that, the military. So what makes a military man? So the blood in the military man is different from the blood.
I like your take on this. I like the fact that you agree that doctors are leaving, engineers are leaving, nurses are leaving.
Yes.
Why? Because they don't have good conditions of service.
Exactly.
And that is exactly what is happening in our military.
Yes.
And the military command have come out to say, no, these people have the right to resign. They are not resigning because of low morale and corruption.
Okay.
So should we now believe the military against what the people have said?
Well,
that is the issue in contention.
I believe what the people have said because what the military people are undergoing is what FINA must be undergoing, I want to believe. What Barrister Agomo is undergoing because we are all...
No, count me out.
No. Then you have not been hypnotized.
Why didn't I leave?
The point I am making is there is bad governance in Nigeria. There is hunger in Nigeria. There is anger in Nigeria. It does not now say that it has to be military or no military and all that. Yes, we believe that the military should be properly structured. We have it in the police. We have it in the security service. Right. We have run ourselves to the ground. Now that these people, let's even take, now that they have resigned, they also have constitutional procedural means to blow the whistle. So I saw Buritai or, Lagbaja or whoever stole all my money and all that, put it out there. Well, don't let us continue. And I have to say this patriotically for my country. And I keep on saying, I'm talking for my country. Well, don't let us go on the pages of newspapers and analysis and just at any point just trying to throw stones against Nigeria. We shouldn't be doing that.
The rules of disengagement prevents them from blowing any whistle. Yeah. Looking at the figures.
That is not true. I've seen military disengaged. I've seen military whistle. Yes, I've seen them. I can give you examples. But I don't want to mention names.
You made mention of corruption and all that's happening in Nigeria. Does this memo that have been making waves now? I think we have that, okay? And that has to do with Katsina State government, mapping out a particular amount of money for the bandits kingpin, how they settle them and all that. Now, Mr. Akin, don't you think that if this actually happens to be true, doesn't it speak more of complicity? As I know, talking about fight against...
allegedly, this letter up on our screen now, let's see, it's signed 30th of June 2024, but we don't see a letterhead, a stamp on top of it, so we cannot say specifically where this one came from, but these are the figures. Those monies to be paid, and you can see bill of alleged document.
Like you rightly said, alleged. Don't we have terrorists that have been identified outside this country that have been given to government over these years? Are we saying we are
placing them on payrolls now? Is that what you're also trying to say, Mr. Akin?
I'm saying, yes, this may be alleged. But the truth of the matter is that there is a lot of complicity, no doubt about that, by a select few. The other governors, they are either, what we call it now, federal executive, trying to corrupt the whole of the system. We have seen state governors. I've seen memos, authentic memos, signed by a state governor that says that, look, there are certain things I'm going to do. So now that you are paying money to terrorists, what are the ones they are paying to themselves?
So where does that leave our strength in international eye? Now we're looking at it this way. Nigeria was once the giant of Africa, because of the strength of our military personnel and apparatus.
Yes.
Mr. Akin Fatinke, with all this happening, where does Nigeria stand in the international phase?
I am in Nigeria, I'm standing tall. I went for international conference. I mentioned it before. People did two things. They said they really want to know what Fela was saying, whether I had really tail. And they wanted to also find out if I went to school. They were surprised that I was speaking English. And I told them that I could speak better English than them. Do you understand the point I'm making? And I know during the Chibok Buniyadi thing, somebody asked me point blank. They said they cut people's head in your country. It's true, they cut people's head in my country. So they did in other nations of the world. Where does this lead us? Pure and simple. Bad governance. We do not have a democracy. We do not have a structure that we are facing. People are waiting to take their turn by turn. And I'm saying within the hypnotic take turn by turn, I want to see a new set of people. I want to see somebody like Peter Obi, because I know him personally. I want to see people like Peter Obi to come on, but he cannot do it alone. He has to perch on the shoulder of some other people. He cannot do it as obedient alone. And I am saying, Atiku and Kwankwaso, high time. I hope you are feeling this feel. Well, Agomo said I should not count him part of it. All of us are feeling this heat. Come together and don't allow that mistake, that error, deliberate error, to happen again. But again, if it has to be my turn,
all right then.
And all that, if we don't put that in place and we don't listen to the patriots, that we are highly disunited. It's not a matter of Bola Tinubu right now. It's a matter of Nigeria. Our military, I give them kudos. Yes, I'm happy at what you are doing. Okay, you are putting it out here, for their welfare. You mentioned somebody that got 50,000 naira. Do you know what some of our parents in the village, do you know how many people are dying in their thousands?
Well,
let's put all this structure in place and get Nigeria to move into the right direction.
Thank you very much.
Internationally, yes, they know that we are not doing well.
Take this
we can do better.
Your concluding thoughts.
My concluding thought is that we need to restructure Nigeria, and we need to tell ourselves the truth that Nigeria is not working and cannot work if we remain inside this vehicle, this rickety vehicle that we have put ourselves.
All right, so somebody did ask which way Nigeria, which way to go.
Moses.
Barrister.
Who is in the charge of Nigeria today? Who's at the helm of affairs?
The president.
Where does the buck stop today?
God. God is in charge of Nigeria.
You see now, you can see. Was it not the same Tinubu who put up a bill at the National Assembly for local government autonomy? Why can't he do this particular restructure that you're talking about? Am I the one that will go to Asoro and say...
But as he said, he's not going to do it.
Barrister, is this your concluding?
Yes, I'm going there, yes. So, if we don't call a spade, we are not moving forward. The problem is that we keep, shifting the goalposts, shifting it to the next person. I do not believe that if Kwakwanso, Atiku and Tinubu Peter Obi does not join together, they will not win the election. I don't believe. If there is free and fair election today in Nigeria, Obi will win because of his track record. He is the only one who have not been tested at the presidency. The last election, we saw the input he made. So the same obedience, the same people that did you believe that Peter Obi can beat Tinubu in Lagos State? Did you believe that? So it's not about joining together. Because when you join together, you now have a godfather who will be breathing down your neck, telling you, we helped you during the election.
Can I ask you a question?
The same thing that Tinubu is going through today. So I don't believe that except you come together. Nigeria
I would love to ask him a question.
This is where we draw the curtains.
I think Peter Obi should be able to beat Bola Tinubu in Lagos. And somebody else will be able to beat
on the program today. And we must say a very big thank you to you, gentlemen.
So he should clear his own and then others should not clear.
In terms of integrity, mention any of them that can beat
Obi can win, other people cannot win.
What are you saying? Did they stop him from winning? They voted him out of his integrity. He didn't give money to anybody.
If it is free and fair,
yes,
then Nigeria should be a free and fair country whereby we all should be united. But because we are not united,
no. Somebody came to divide us. Somebody divided us. Go and check in 1960.
This program.
We divided us for the whole service. Somebody even brought Agbero here to fight for his election. Somebody brought Agbero who are helping him to win.
Incidentally, you are talking about heat, but I'm feeling a lot of cold from him. He's a very cool man.
We know we'll continue this conversation
our problem is man-made. Moses, our problem is man-made.
No,
it's man-made.
Our problem is man-made and woman-made.
No, it's man-made.
We'll take a break now. We'll take a break. When we come
tomorrow
back,
now, you start blaming Agbero in Lagos. Who brought them here? Who brought Agbero here?
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's law.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, A new baby is born. Voice of the People Television. VOP TV. Youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space. Exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Thank you so much for staying with us. This is the trend segment. The Nigerian National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has issued a public alert concerning the activities of Christ Mercy Land Deliverance Ministry, a faith-based organization led by Prophet Jeremiah Motofefeyi. According to NAFDAC, the ministry has been using the agency's name to deceive the public into believing that its miracle soap and water products are officially registered. In a statement released by NAFDAC's Director General, Professor Modishola Adeyeye, the agency clarified that none of the products being advertised and sold by Christ Mercy Land Deliverance Ministry are registered with NAFDAC. Despite the evidence, officials from Christ Mercy Land Deliverance Ministry denied producing the miracle water and soap, claiming that only the logo and address on the label were theirs. NAFDAC continues to investigate the matter and has warned the public to be cautious of such deceptive practices. And we have reactions. This one is from King Denero. What's wrong with NAFDAC? When I use spiritual eye, take look the soap and didn't see the number. Spiritual soap comes with spiritual NAFDAC number. And then I don't really understand what is happening with, our faith-based organizations. We have so many of them moving over to sell so many things. We have keys that can open the heavenly gate. We have some. Chukuma, are Christians now becoming so gullible that they cannot even know when they are being deceived?
Fina, I'm not sure it's about gullibility. It's about, like you said, faith-based. It's about what works for one, Okay. Personally, I believe in miracles. Miracles have happened to me several times. And if you ask me, sleeping in the night and waking in the morning is a miracle. But I also like this particular pastor, Fufeyi, another man of God, the miracle workers that produce soap, bathing water, Holy Spirit, and all of that, to please use this miracle soap and water to bait the economy so that inflation can come down from 38.1% to the normal 8% we used to have. I would like them to use the miracle soap to work on unemployment, to work on insecurity. Or are there limitations to what the miracle soaps and water can do? Moses, do you have an idea?
Well, it's unfortunate that religion has been used in this manner. Well, they say religion is the opium of the masses.
I think they had Nigerians in mind.
Well,
Karl Marx had Nigerians in mind.
He coined that. It's unfortunate. I think people should not leave their thinking caps at home when they go for services. They should think. Even the holy books ask that you test all spirits. test the doctrine, if it's not talking about the salvation provided by Christ, then it's not something that you should consider.
I think
Quite an
NAFDAC should do
unfortunate
more.
one.
NAFDAC should
About
do more if having this
NAFDAC.
whole thing happening. Yeah, they should do more, because if not that a particular influencer decided to talk about this miracle soap and water.
Well, somebody has to bring it to the notice
it wouldn't even be
of the public. Well, NAFDAC has said, look, it's we didn't put our label on any of those things, but the ministry have come on to say, look, they're not using they're not advertising fake products. Well, it's going to be a back and forth. It boils down to the people. People should, think and act, in wisdom.
All right. Also, Joe Ibokwe, prominent chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has called on President Bola Tinubu to urgently address the soaring electricity tariffs that are threatening to cripple businesses across Nigeria. Ibokwe, a staunch supporter of Tinubu's administration, expressed his concern, highlighting the severe impact of the recent tariff hike on small businesses and households alike. Ibokwe detailed his personal experience, and noting that the cost of electricity has become unsustainable. He shared that a purchase of 20,000 naira worth of electricity units, which previously lasted for a considerable period, now barely covers a single day's usage. And this drastic increase, he warned, could lead to the collapse of many small businesses that are already struggling to stay afloat in the challenging economic climate. Official Paul reacted to this statement and said the worst thing is that this administration has even mortgaged our future. The rate they go on borrowing is so alarming. Oh, my beef said that the rich also cry. In this situation, that means the poor will be wailing. Talking about electricity tariff, that's not the only thing that is high. Now, we also have the fuel, the PMS, that's the petrol that normally small-scale business would have run to use to power their businesses and their station. Now, also the price is also on the hike. Chukuma, do you think Nigerians will actually come out of the increments that we're getting?
Well, Fina, it's not about Nigerians, it's about Joe Ibokwe. Welcome back, Mr. Joe Ibokwe, for coming back from the moon to Nigeria. I think you now feel what Nigerians have been passing through. Mr. Joe Ibokwe has been the one that always saw the president as infallible. I knew everything the president does is very right, is very correct. I'm surprised he's coming out this way, asking the president to reduce.
So the economic hardship now is affecting the rich too. The rich are now crying too. Is that what you're saying?
Everybody is crying. If people like Joe Ibokwe have started crying, that means everybody is crying. The rich also cry. And we are not talking about only the electricity hike. We are talking about fuel hike. School fees and every other thing is on the increase in this administration, and we are asked to have patience and give the president more time. How much longer can we wait for things to get better? That is the big question. The government should answer us.
Well, I think Nigerians should start looking at alternative sources of energy within your little space. Anything that you can do.
Moses, can I cut in? Nigerians already have alternative sources of energy. You provide your own generating sets.
Yes, but away from generator, away from... There was... when the price of fuel started going up, there was the conversation around using gas-powered generating sets.
Where is the gas?
Conversion of it now is highest.
Moses, where is the gas? A kilo of gas is 1,600 naira in some areas.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well... the safety in that is my concern, really. Safety using
we
gas
are on a road that leads to nowhere.
Generator.
Honestly.
Oh, well, this is where we draw the curtains today on the program. We must say very thank you to you for staying with us. Stay with us as we, at 9 o'clock, we'll get into the analysis of the papers. Well, this is it on VOP this morning. We must say thank you very much for staying with us, and do well to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. It's Voice of the People TV on YouTube and on all the social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Now, on behalf of the backroom staff, Chukuma Okoro, Fina Okechukwu, I am Moses Humphrey, wishing you a beautiful day.